Hey guys, I'm so excited to be back and I'm doing something I've been so excited to do for a really long time, and that is book content. Today I'm going to be talking about the only books that I've ever given a 5-star rating in 2021. I'm really picky with how I rate my books. I mean, a lot of them do end up getting 4 stars, but a 5-star, that's hard to get from me. And in 2021, I only had 4 books that made it to my top 5-star rating. And I'm so excited to share them with you. They are great books and I can't wait for you to try reading them as well. Let's start with the first one. It wouldn't be a book review or haul without this author. And if you know, you know who I'm about to bring up. And that is Colleen Hoover. So this is Verity, and it is so good. Verity literally catches me for the entire book, and I can't stop reading it. It's so good. So I read this basically in a day, and essentially it's about a girl who's a ghostwriter for someone who is not present. The husband had hired a ghostwriter, which is the main character, to help finish out writing her book. And basically some things start to happen. This book honestly is such a scary thriller that I honestly was terrified to be in my house alone while reading this. It just like gets you like that. Highly recommend. And it is terrifying. Basically she finds this journal and it just unravels from there, and oh gosh, so good. You need to read this. The next one I have is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. She is also a really popular author. Most people love her book that is Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, which is also amazing, but honestly, unpopular opinion, I do like this book more. And this one's the one that I gave 5 stars to. Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo got a 4 stars from me, and well, this one's just better, and I recommend if you haven't read this one by her yet that you definitely should. It's written in script version, so all the characters are talking to this journalist who's talking to the band, which is Daisy Jones and the Six. And every character in this book have such a fascinating, interesting story to them that like no one character is better than the other, which is pretty hard to find when you're reading a book. So I love that she did that and is able to make all the characters so fascinating. And Taylor Jenkins Reid just does a great job of bringing pop culture to life and talking about kind of the struggles of high-end living, and I just love it. It's really enticing, and I couldn't put it down, so definitely recommend this one. The next one I have on my list is another Colleen Hoover. Basically, I discovered this author in 2021, like most people, and I could not stop. This one is It Ends With Us, and I'm so excited because I just found out that there's It Started With Us coming out. And she just knows what we need because she's producing the next book to this that we all were so addicted to, and I'm just so excited. But basically this one is about a girl starting off in a new city, and she's just trying to find her feet, and then she meets a guy and there's kind of a romance to it. But it also goes from past to present, so she has a story that's kind of in her past when she was in school. But it also has her present story of this guy that she's meeting now. And there's a lot of twists, a lot of turns, and basically you just have to ride along with it, and it's very emotional. Trigger warning if you kind of don't want to read about domestic abuse, because that is kind of the high topic in this story. But I feel like she just does a really great job at explaining how complicated that topic is and how complicated it is in a relationship to kind of venture through that, and it just tugs at your heartstrings. This book really tugged at my heartstrings, and I can't wait for the sequel because I really wanted to kind of complete it, I felt like my heart got ripped out in this book, and I'm hoping that the next book where it says It Starts With Us kind and lifts me up. So great read if you're looking for a page turner. And lastly, this one is in a popular series by Sarah J. Maas, and it is the series A Court of Thorn and Roses. And this is the second book, which is A Court of Mist and Fury. And it is so good. And this one is the one that gets 5 stars for me in the series. I am going to do a series review on here when I'm done, and maybe a read with me with the last book in this series. But basically this book just got me when they were talking about like the mates at the end, like, oh, and like the twists. Like the first book, you're falling in love with Frey, the main character, and her partner in that book, and then all of a sudden you're falling in love with like her mate, and it just kind of shows the transition of like her thought process and like what she believes and how she becomes such a strong, powerful woman character in this book. Is just so amazingly written. I just love it. And I'm not usually a huge a huge fantasy book reader. I'm typically into thrillers or kind of like drama-esque. But this fantasy is like really digestible and really interesting. Like there is world building in it, but nothing too complicating, and nothing too slow. Like I hate when the world building is really slow. And also there's like the hint of romance that just kind of keeps you page turning here. Yeah, and there's like war aspects to it. So there's just so much in here that makes you like continue to read and want to know what's happening. But mostly just when they become mates. If you know, you know. And I can't wait to finish this series. I think I'm going to be a little bit heartbroken when I'm done. And I hope to bring you along when I read the last one. But yeah, let me know if you've read this series, and don't give me any spoilers because I'm not done. But this book gets that 5 stars from me. That's all of my 5-star ratings from 2021. I really hope that this year brings a lot more, and I'm so excited to continue reading some really stellar books. Hopefully some new authors kind of pop into my TBR, but please again, comment down any authors and books that you read in 2021 that you gave a 5 stars to, because I'm really excited to build up my TBR list. And I can't wait to see you guys next time.